Hello everyone, this is Narobi. It has been a very long time that I've made a video about this program, this simulator of the systems of big ships. And it has also been a very long time that a new ship has really actually been released. So this is one I haven't used before. It is an LNG, very big vessel indeed, and it has some interesting systems in it. It isn't fully complete, the simulation. I didn't find a way to actually load the ship with LNG or unload it yet. But let's go to it and see what works and what doesn't. From the start, of course we are in a dark situation with no electricity at all, so we do have a couple of warnings. So let's remove those. So what do we have? We have 3 pages of systems. You see it's quite detailed. This first of one has the systems about the fuel, the boiler, and that will be for a later video, the compressed air. Page B is more or less all about electrics. This will be the focus of this video. And page C is like loading and unloading. Like I said, I haven't figured out how it works, and it doesn't do very much at the moment. So let's look at the power stations. You see, we're cold and dark. All the generators are switched off. We don't have a shower connection. We have basically nothing from electricity at the moment. So as always, we're going to start with the emergency generator and put first electricity in the emergency buses. Let's start with the batteries. The 20-volt batteries give the basic power to start up some instruments. So the battery 1 has 26 volts, battery 2 a little bit less. We're consuming at the moment nothing. Let's close some breakers. I see now we're consuming from battery 2 because this sets rectifier. We're going to use battery 2 discharging over here, and battery 1 should be charging if we have the power, but we don't have. So next screen, let's reset the alert. We know that we're on battery power at the moment. Let's check this one. Okay, closing some breakers. So now we have just enough power for the basic instrumentally. So like this is the emergency generator. We do have fuel from the emergency fuel tank. This valve is closed. So we have fuel. We have coolant via fan that will turn on when the generator is turning on. We have oil, enough oil to lubricate it. And we have, like I said, the startup battery of 25.5 volts. So we're on local mode, normal. We do have power for this one. Let's start the generator. RPMs are going up. You see the fan for the cooling has turned on. So we're now in a good basic state of this generator. Generator panel. At the moment, generator is turning, but doesn't supply anything to the buses. You see this over here. The generator is turning, but this breaker is still open. So first of all, let's close that breaker. Breaker is closed. You see, now we have power until here. We still have an isolation breaker that's used for doing some tests. That's the one over here. So now we do have power on the 440 emergency bus. Let's now provide via the primary emergency transformator also power to the emergency 220-volt bus. moment. Emergency 240, yes. Emergency transfer rated 1 or 2. We're only going to use 1. So let's first put this one in. You see, this breaker has closed. This one generator, this transformator, I should say, is now energized. So now you can close the breaker on the other side, this one. And you do see we have no voltage on the 220 emergency bus. So let's use this for the basic systems, which is also recharging the battery for the emergency generator. So if the generator should fail, we have enough power in the battery to restart it again. Let's go back to the emergency 440 bus. We're not going to energize the second transformator, that's just a waste of energy. Starter for the emergency air compressor. This one is the most important now because we need the emergency air compressor to start the actually main. We have 3 main generators that are able to run on marine grade diesel, fuel diesel, and also gas from the LNG tanks. So this emergency generator has no power. I should also go to the compressed air system. Before we're going to start the emergency generator, we need to be sure there is a path for the compressed air. So let's close these 2 valves so it's connected to the auxiliary air reserve. And now that we can go back, we can safely start this compressor. It indicates running. So we see we have an airflow now and the auxiliary reserve should starting to fill up. Let's wait a second for that. Yes, you see this 0.1 now. So this will take a time. That's why I did it at first. So now we can start more basic systems and that we have the emergency buses available. These are just the emergency systems like emergency lighting and just the basic systems to start one of the main generators. We're not going to use shore power, but we are going to start up the generator fan because as the generator is turning now, it will get hot over there. And let's put this one on supply that we for sure have enough oxygen in the room. Let's verify again, these are all closed. Okay. So let's recap. We have those 2 buses now energized and we have the emergency compressed air running to get us enough starting air for one of these 3 diesel generators. Let's acknowledge the alerts. And let's have a look on the 3 main diesel generators. You see, these systems have enough power now to use. This is the 1, the 2 hasn't, and the 3 also is available to start from the emergency bus. So let's focus on the first diesel generator. We do have the electricity for it. The cooling will come later. We have enough oil in the slum tank. The pre-lubrication oil pump is running, so it is safe. It has enough lubrication to start. We are filling slowly the starting air. So let's focus on the fuel situation. The yellow line will be the gas that we're going to use from the LNG tanks. We don't have that at the moment. The darker blue, brown over here are the fuel, the heavy diesel fuel that needs to be heated before it can be liquefied enough to use it, so we cannot use this also. So we're with the orange line. It has two purposes. It has a pilot, so just to start up the engine, and we're also going to use it for later on to run the engine at this first moment. So let's go to the marine grade um, oil tank, and let's make sure we can use all three. We can use start up all the three generators. Again, this is just the piloting, so it's just to turn them over a couple of times to start it. So these are the filters. It will use this service tank, which can be filled from this main storage, but that is needed for now. So now we have a complete path to all the three generators, and it's going back. There is no valve over here. You see, now we do have pressure in the pilot circuit, so that's okay. Let's see from the main circuit. Main circuit, like I said, has the two options of fuel source. We're not going to use the heavy fuel over here, but the service tank, the marine grade service tank over here. Let's go down this way. Let's set up both pumps, so if needed, the second pump can take over. There's no need to cool it, I think, because it's 35 degrees. So I bypass the cooler and provide it with fuel to the filters. And over here, so we go and then the return pads up here, and it flows back. So let's put electricity to the pumps, and this is a little bit of other way to start it. So we put it in one, the start position. You see this pump is now running, and we do have flow to the diesel generators. Let's put the second pump on standby. So let's select 3, spare, and this one is on standby. So now we have fuel, we have pilot fuel. Let's see how the air is coming along. We already have a little bit of air in the auxiliary reserve tank. Let's see how much. Close the valves to all the 3 diesel generators. Not those ones, because this is one for using the main reservoirs. So let's open those again, and this is what this one is working for. I do have 15. I don't know if it's a bar or what's the unit of the pressure, but I think we have now enough pressure to start up the generators. Let's put it in local mode and start up. Settling around its RPMs now. Let's see the synchronization panel. Acknowledge the alert. First, remember we're going from a dark situation. And let's use semi mode to semi connect diesel 1. That's happened now. Diesel generator 1 is running, and it is connecting to the main 440 bus now. This is the panel of the main generator. We can also start it from here if we put the generator on the remote. What are exactly what we're going to do now? We put this in remote. So the 440 first panel A, main transformator to the 220 side, starter for the main air compressor, the top-up compressor, and some other systems that go to more detailed breaker panels. Panel B, a lot of switches, or a lot of breakers, I should say. I think many of the systems aren't simulated yet. We closed the first one, the breaker for the primary transfo. So now let's close this breaker, this one over here. So now we do have also voltage on the 220 main bus. This one's also closed. Now let's use the main diesel generator to provide power to the emergency bus. So the emergency generator should shut down. Let's, excuse me. Let's first put this bus breaker on auto mode. So this one is for automatically controlling this breaker, and the second one is for controlling this breaker. So if we do have provide power from the main bus, this breaker will close, this one will open, so the emergency generator will shut down automatically. Emergency generator, of course we do have to put it on a remote mode, so the power system has authority to shut it down when needed or starting up. So now we're going to close this breaker. That's the one over here. I was expecting that this one should, you see, it automatically switched this one closed, so that one opened. You see, this one closed, that one opened, and the emergency generator will shut down after some cooling time. Excuse me. We do have a warning to reduce the load, request to reduce the load. So I'm putting the system in automatically mode now, so other diesel generators can help out if needed. Let's check the compressed air that they have all the things they need to start up if needed. So the third one should also be able to start automatically because it is in remote mode. It does have startup power. It has the pilot fuel and the main fuel source, so it will be able to start up if needed. Let's enable some more breakers so we can set up the cooling. The cooling is in two circuits, as you know. First, the seawater cooling, that will cool the freshwater cooling to reduce corrosion in the pipes. The fresh water is used to actually cool all the systems. There are always some breakers that you forget to click or doesn't come through. one is ready to start if needed. That's okay. That's good news. Oh, I'm sorry. Third one, feeder panel B. These are always going to more detailed breaker pages. I'm going to do this a little quick because I'm going to need to provide cooling very soon. Okay, let's check out the cooling situation with this power. So this is a generator that actually running now. Let's provide it with fresh water cooling over here, and I think the correct path is going over here that way, and it also have cooling on this side. So now we do have flow. It's just the fresh water itself isn't cooled yet, but we at least have some flow in the system, so that setup seems to be fine. Not so sure if that path is correct or I should follow this one. So the freshwater cooling, the page that we come through these are the two and from these pages. So we're going to use the first freshwater cooler. This cools with the green seawater. So this will be this valve for the hot freshwater coming in, cooled coming out. And let's set up all three pumps and try to start the first one. We do have pressure and indeed flow, so that's okay. We have complete the circuit for the freshwater cooling. Now for seawater cooling, we're going to use the high sea chest because we're simulating that we are in the harbor. First main pump, going over here, going up to the first cooler, in and out and back overboard. And that should complete the circuit that we can start the main seawater pump. We have flow over here inside, outside and overboard. So let's go back to the freshwater system, and we see we are going in with 47 degrees and going out to 36, so we do have cooling at the moment. Let me here, let's set up also cooling to our main air compressors, because that's the next thing that we're going to start. And just verify the diesel generator. We do have freshwater cooling. The target temperature is 90 degrees, so that's okay. Let's continue checking the breakers and close the one that we're going to need. The battery, now that we have enough power, the battery should starting to charge again. So we have a minus current, so this battery is indeed charging. Over here also, this battery is charging. I do think in the emergency generator panel there is also a battery charger. Not sure what this does because we already see it was charging. Let's check out the alerts, I always say, but there are so many. Of course, when we start providing power to the systems, they are going to alert status because they are not in the correct running status. So I'm going to do the very unprofessional thing and just acknowledge them all. You see, the emergency generator has switched off automatically. That's exactly what we want. Let's now get to the more detailed pages. The bigger pages. These are feed from the main switchboard to the distribution switchboards. Probably now that we have the power, we're going to first start the main air compressor because it will take a long time. Again, first be sure that we do have a pad for the compressed air. Also setting up the second one. Not where you want to go. Yes. You see this panel were blanked out because it didn't have any power. It's just a simulation. So now I can start the main air compressor and put the second one. I think I can both put them in auto mode. This will lead, this will follow. Auto mode, we're in local mode. And let's put them in hard mode. Not quite sure what that does, but it seems like what we are simulating. Both generators have switched on because there is a lot of need to fill up these big reservoirs. So let's go back to the power situation now. We were here with the detailed distribution boards. The fresh water will be the next one that we're going to enable. So that's a prerequisite for starting up the boiler, that we have enough fresh water supply. And this boiler provides, of course, a steam that also in his turn is a prerequisite to heat up and to, let's say, more liquefy the heavy fuel. Some fans, always nice to have some fresh air. Okay, let's go to the fresh water systems. So just to verify the seawater is still okay. Freshwater cooling is running okay. This valve doesn't have any use at the moment because we don't have the compressed air to use it. Let's just set up the other generators if they going online automatically, that they do have the necessary cooling. I think that's only it. Those go to that line. Yep. We have three main tanks over here: drink water tank, fresh water tank, and distilled water tank. So we'll fill up the drink water tank from the storage over here with the first pump. Drink water, the first one automatically. It will turn on until we have enough drink water in this tank. Fresh water tank, basically the same. Let's use over here the second pump to switch it up a little bit from the fresh water tank. Fresh water, second pump automatically. You see they are filling up slowly. And when we have enough fresh water in this tank, we can use it to over here to heat it, but let's wait for that a little bit. This one is already close to full, so let's use it in the mineralizer. The input over here, output there, input to the sterilizer, output of the sterilizer, and going to the consumptions. It is indicated that the scrambled gas from the exhaust of the first generator is getting hot. We didn't set that up yet. That one is over here, the scrubber, to put some nasty gases outside. So here we have three tanks. This one fills the service tank used by the feed pumps to use these three systems for all the three scrubbers. So let's enable them all. Let's focus on the first one. And we do need compressed air for this one also. So let's see how we are with compressed air. Control air, service air comes from these two main reservoirs. I think we do have enough to start them. This slide goes down. These are pressure reducers. I do have 8, I call it 8 bar to fill up this service air reservoir first. We can also use the service air compressor. If we can figure out to turn it on. Don't we have power for that? No, wrong switch. Closed. And we don't have any power. That's strange. Let's focus on the scramblers. This one. So we do have pressure now. Yes, we do have pressure. Scrubber control panel. Let's acknowledge the alerts first. And it doesn't also have power. We made a mistake in our 220 panels somewhere. Because this is the second one that doesn't have power. Okay. Did we lose the generator because the exhaust heat was too much? Yes, I did. We have lost the generator. It shut down. So, but normally the third one should have taken over. Why didn't that work? Probably because it also had a lack of instrumental air. So let's first set that one up. From the main compressed air, we do have pressure to fill up. And use it on these systems. These are all from the exhaust gas that we really are need now at this moment. These are a little bit less important, but now that you're here, let's enable them also. The auxiliary boiler. Is for the main generator to run on gas and instead of diesel. Not that important at the moment. Let's see if we can restart this generator. As the generator is still, the engine is not ready to start. Let's reset the fault. Still not ready to start. What is it missing? It has start air, it has instrument air, it has fuel, it has pre-lubrication. Indeed, it doesn't want to start. Let's see, it's emergency stop mode. So let's try to reset this one. Go with a normal stop. Starting. And what is the excuse for number 3? It is in standby, so why didn't it take over when the first one stopped? Because of the heat. Because we're not in auto mode. So now the third one is on standby. And you see the third one actually started. Two generators running. Third, even this one is going online now because the breakers are not close of these two. First one needs to reset. Generator is running. Second one is online. 2 and 3 are online. One is on standby now. What is correct with because we over here we said one first use the second one, then the third one, and at last the first one. So this makes sense now. We do have power. The first one is probably still in a local mode. No, it is in remote mode, so it should be shut down automatically. Okay, where were we before we lost total? No, that we lost power. We regain power. Always good to recheck if all the cooling is still running. Yes, this one is still running. We do have flow and cooling of all the 3 generators. That's also okay. So I think we were checking out the compressed air situation. Let's also set up the use of the second air reservoir. This is the output going over here and also in this line. 2 generators are compressors, I should say, are up again. Control air, we do have this one. Everything is close that we need it at the moment. Service air. See, the third generator has shut down because of the load was too less. And that's why we found out that we didn't have power now anymore later on. Before the service air compressor does have power now and is able to fill up the reservoirs if needed. Okay, We're back in a running condition. Let's recap. Power situation. Only second generator is used. These two are still running. We do need to close this breaker manually. Let's see if this one will close automatically and this one will open. Yes, that's what happened right now. So the emergency generator will shut down again. And we're back in good condition. Let's check out our fresh water, our water system. Those two tanks are full now, so indeed we do have pressure on this system and we can now fill up our heater. And go back over here when we have enough filled to heat up the water with electricity at the moment, because that's the only thing that we have. The exhaust systems, this was the source of the failure, so let's try to prevent it this time. Control panel, acknowledge the alert. We do have power now, 220, and let's try to start the system. I think you need to start it manually. It still has something that it needed. Let's figure out. We do have pressure over here. We have pressure over here. We also think we need to have provide pressure to these valves. We do have water from these two pumps. These are controlled over here. Sorry. That's the main engine, not what I want. Yeah, over here. So we have a transfer pump from the main storage to the service. That's not needed because we do have enough, but we can put it in auto mode. And we have two feeder pumps. You see over here we have the main pump. We can put it in auto mode. And the discharge pumps are over here. So if there is not too much water, let's just set it up and also put it in automatically mode. You did also one. So let's start the first pump, supply pump. This one is running now and providing water to these systems. So I should be able to clear this error now, I hope. Let's follow. We don't have pressure over here, that's kind of strange. Oh, come on. All three in auto mode, trying to. Doesn't really cooperate. All indicating green except the auto mode. Yeah, this one controls it actually. So no, indeed, all the three systems are in automatically mode. And I think they're set up correctly now to scrub the exhaust fumes from the generators so this won't overheat anymore. So there's something going on. Emergency generator lubrication pressure low. Emergency generator is on standby. So I guess that's normal alert. We'll acknowledge it. Reservoirs are filled enough to the second generator is stopping. Let's use the top-up generator compressor to fill when needed by putting this one also in auto mode. And use the pressure that we have now for more systems. These are valves for the storage or the LNG storage, just to be sure they are available when needed. Everything should be in play now. Fill up the quick air, quick down reservoir if we need it. First generator is on standby. Second one is running. Third one is standby. You do see we have low cooling for the third one. Why is that? This one's closed, this one's closed, this one's closed. I'm not sure why this one shows an alert. Let's try to set up some more cooling for the humans in our vessel now. Just a booster comes. And cooling for the atmospheric condenser because putting the steam auxiliary steam boilers will be the next thing that we do. Okay, now we can start providing hot water. Putting this in auto. Electrical heater is running. Temperature is rising slow, so now we can start the pump and the hot water circulating. This is the output. And this pump is running now. So this provides water to the second system. This is the next page that we're going to check out. Actually, the input is over here and there. So we do have pressure here. Let's use the bypass. Most files are on automatically. We do have some hot and cold water flow going on now. So as this tanker drains, it will automatically be filled again. Later on, we're going to provide fresh water from a freshwater generator, but therefore we need to have steam. Main reservoirs are low. That is because both air compressors aren't running. They are in automatically mode. Lead follow. This one is blinking. Not sure why that is. It does have cooling. I think after a quick check now, it's time to let's see how we set up the boiler. There are two boilers in this vessel, two identically boilers that can use, I think, three source fuels. The two diesel fuels, the marine grade diesel and the heavy fuel. Again, heavy fuel is out of the picture now because you don't have the heat to warm it up. And you also have the option, I think it's over here, to fire up the business via the gas. So let's set this circuit up first. Going down here, doesn't need to be cooled, I think. Bypass it. And then we have pressure to those main auxiliary pumps. This is also going up to for the pilot flame. So this one now also should have pressure, providing a way for the pilot flame over here, and use this one for the main fuel source. Okay, we also have pressure for feeding enough oxygen in the boilers. Second boiler the same. That should be okay. And if we also provide a return pad, then we can turn on these pumps. Provide the boilers with water from the tanks over here. So let's follow this path down here. The main line, 3 feet water pumps that have a return pad via this line to the tanks, and have an on the up a way to feed automatically in this first and second boiler. So that's one setup also. Then the steam, when we actually have it, we can use it first of all to provide steam to the boiler itself in the way as oxygen, and also later on to these circuits. So the main one is over here, the condenser, atmospheric condenser. No valves over here anymore. Yep, that's fine for now. And these are more the steam lines that we're going to use later on. Steam condenser isn't in play now because we don't use these heavy steam consumers. So the first boiler panel, but before we use that one, we need to enable the main breaker, and that is on, let's see if I can find it. I know it's over on the right side somewhere. See, all the ventilators hasn't start up automatically. I should put them on standby, so if they need it, they can start up. But this was the main breaker that I was looking for to provide power to the boiler systems. To enable it, close it, I should say. And now we can close this breaker and we do have power to our boiler systems. First controller, second controller, first manual controller, second manual controller. So what do we have going on over here? Let's concentrate on the first boiler. Fuel, marine grade oil via these two pumps that we're going both put on automatically. And also this one for the ventilator. This one has a gas. Like I say, we're not going to touch that one for the moment. So now the boiler has alerts cleared, alarm alerts cleared, reset button pressed, so it is ready to start. So let's actually do just that. And now go through all these phases to start up the boiler. Starting with purging it, so maximum airflow is going into the boiler to clear all the exhaust fumes from previous firing. You can see the pressure over here and these lines. %100% airflow. Purge will take around 32 seconds. Go into ignition position, so less airflow and more oil, I think. Ignition is going on now. Ignition sequences over here. See, we have a small pilot flame now, feeded by this line. And now it's going to switch to the main pump. This one is turning on to provide the main fuel for the bigger flame. So now we have low firing until we have heat enough to have some pressure. This is the temperature of the exhaust. So we are actually at 80 degrees now. Just want to check out that these systems are working. Yes, this one is actually working now. Okay, I haven't set up the water pumps. First water pumps. Over here you see those two also need to be both done automatically. So it can regulate the water level in the boiler. Because we're heating it, it will expand a little bit. First feed water pump is running. It is a circuit. Let's use a rotation method, not a bypass. There's a pressure over here, so that's good. This one is filling up the second boiler a little bit. Water is boiling, we do have a little bit of pressure. So let's open this valve. So we have starting to heat up the main pressure line, main steam line. And if necessary, this valve will open to condense it with our seawater that we have for cooling. These two systems are the redundancy. Switch over here to this one, to the steam service systems, next page. To the heaters for the heavy fuel that we're not going to use at the moment. The boiler seems okay for me. No new alerts. It will stay around this pressure because we're using it in the manual mode and low firing. This is the input line. And I don't think we need any of these systems at the moment. Just provide it to the decks to have some consumers, and we also can use it to heat up the water. This is the condensate, so the return pad of the used spent steam. Since we don't have much for the moment, let's be spare with it. We should be able to see some condensation getting back to from the don't know if it's this one or that one. I guess this one. This is that one for the pressure. See, the burner is in low power mode. Let's put it in automatically mode so it can produce some more. Pressure is going up. These are the heavy users of the steam, so the pumps to fill up the cargo and the ballast. This needs those two condensators. Now that we do have steam, let's set up our freshwater generators. Let's first check if we're using steam now to. Yes, this is the page I'm looking for. So we're going to use seawater in this ejector to create a vacuum. So to lower the boiling point. The vacuum is going over here, the seawater is going over here, will be preheated and going back over here overboard. So now we can start the injector pump. Yes, flow is okay. See over here we're getting a vacuum. So it's now provided with heat. This one I think is, and now we have 156 degrees of heat over here. So now we can heat up the seawater until it evaporates. The level over here is rising. See the energy over here and the freshwater condense. Before we starting this pump, let's power on the salutation indicator to see how much salt is in it. And we're going to use it to fill up, I guess, all three tanks. Okay, let's start the distillation pump. Okay, we have some flow over here, and these tanks are slowly filling again. I was hoping to use steam as heater and not electrical anymore, because we do have a flow over here. As we do have more steam available, let's put it to use. To start heating up the main engine. This is the fuel, not what I was looking for. And preheating the water for the steam boilers. I was going to look at the water from the main engine. Now that we have steam, I thought we have steam from the main system. This is page 163. Actually, don't see a reference to it. Preheater, that's the one. We do have steam for the preheater now, so we can actually preheat the main engine. Going up to the preheater. Going back, we don't, this is not heat enough to use the fresh water generator, but we're going to set up the cooler if needed with this valve. Directs it automatically back. So let's check this cooler if it does have water from the fresh water system to cool. Yes, those are two are closed, or open I should say. So it does have cooling when needed. Actually, it only can cool at 90 degrees, and now we have 36, but it's quite a bit low. I did expect we have no flow over here, and why is that? Going up, going down. Pressure over here, pressure over there. Should open this one. Yeah. Now we do have flow, and the temperature is rising. Okay, we're in pretty good shape now. With the boiler going on, we can start heating up our heavy fuel. Let's look at the fuel systems. This is for the main engine. We're going to use this circuit in a bit. Because now the generators are running on this tank. And we're going to want to switch them over to the heavy fuel. Let's set this up. We're not actually going to switch over yet, but just to set up. So this is feeding from here. Let's backtrack it to the filter, the vessel, the meter, the heater one that we shall provide with steam now. Booster pump going to the mixing tank. So the return is from here, I think. That's the pressure for this valve. So going up, going into the first service tank. Input, closing these breakers. Over here, switching this one. Starting up the first fuel oil supply. I think I need to start it manually, and then I can put it in auto. Yes, filling up the mixing tank, heating it up also, so we can draw from it and heating up if we do have the steam over here. And out there, we run 132. Just that this one is closed now. Automatically, we do have a pad. Okay, this one is filled up. So let's start the booster pump. Pressure over here, temperature over there. Going down to this system, but something it isn't eating up. And that's the first problem. Second problem, I don't have any flow. I guess that is normal. Which engine generator is running at this moment? So the second and third one we can switch over. That's the third one. That's the first one. Let's have you running now, I think. Oh, it's bypassing this one. It's going to the cooler because it's set up for marine grade. Yeah, okay. Temperature, that's more like it. Flow, that's indeed what I want to see. Flow going into these two generators, yes. So now if we going to switch over the second generator. Let's start up the first one. Taken over the load from the second one that's still running marine grade thing oil. So let's disconnect the second one now. One and two are running, two is shut down, so now I can switch over the fuel for the second generator. And we can put these two pumps on remote mode. We can also, while we're at it, putting the compressors on the remote mode. And go to the engine control room. Compressors, all three auto. Following this one, top up two, top up one reversed scheme. And we switch over to heavy fuel. And this one can go on or both on standby, I think. One running to standby, yes. Let's put the generators back in automatically mode so they can shut down when needed. Why do we still have a system error over here? Both are running. Not necessary, I think. This one we can start filling up via the purifier later on, but I think this will be for the next video. This is the fuel gas system. I have figured out this one already. So just to the end, just wanted to show you the systems I don't think that are working at the moment to fill up the two main tanks over here that we have in our vessel, the whole purpose of this vessel. And I think the first thing that you should do is enable this emergency system disconnect, but that doesn't do really much. It doesn't have any power, and I don't see getting this alive. Even this system does have power. There is an alert over here that I can't seem to clear. We were on this panel, and I don't feel can't put this one in automatically mode. So the last ones are getting inert gas. No, what before it's see the inert gas generators that we can use without even the main steam auxiliary boilers. We can use this diesel oil to heat up seawater to get inert gas, but this isn't working because if I close these breakers, we don't have power. Source light will stay on. If I go to another page and go back, the breakers are back open. So this indicates that this isn't script yet for me. This is the code is in place. Also the same thing over here. I don't have any power on these panels, but we do have closed all the breakers. And the same test if I change the switch and going back It's in the default position, so I don't think the code is in place to use these systems, which is a shame, but I guess beggars can be choosers as this is a free simulator. Same thing over here, no power on this panel. So with that, I'm going to leave you.